So I'll just be floating with the camera around and know when I need to punch in, when I need to pull out, and punch in deeper and then pull out even more and then go to that, the money shot of the scene where you get all of that emotional splatter on the screen. That's what I'm after.
He's definitely shot porn before. Hey,
Oh my god, that was. Are you kidding me? I'm just like literally trying to look it up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Chummy Thumbs. I am one of your hosts, Hayden, and please also lend your ears to my co-hosts, Justin and Xiao. If you're here for insightful conversations, hilarious banter, and maybe a few too many awkward moments, you've come to the very right place. Today, tonight, whenever you're tuning in, we have a spectacular show lined up for you. You know us, we're three film guys, and this is our take on how we view the world, what we see on TV and on the silver screen. And then we're going to dig into some insightful conversations surrounding it. And trust me, you are in for an interesting ride. So grab your popcorn. I am partial to Orville Redenbacher popcorn. That's a throwback. Grab a coffee, whiskey, or weed, or whatever you're drinking. Put on your comfy pants and let's get this show on the road. Welcome to
Hello.
Chummy Dum 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 Dum.
It's episode 21. You couldn't memorize that, Hayden? Oh my god.
Did I say 20 again?
Okay, first of all,
Okay.
don't call me out in the intro. Second of all, it's a good thing they can hear you and not see you, because if they can see you right now, they certainly wouldn't trust you.
Don't trust me at all, man. I have to say quickly, I decided to stupidly, I came across this Monster energy drink during my travels that says it's Aussie lemonade flavor. And I'm like, what the heck is Aussie lemonade flavor? So I had to try it. It's interesting. Yeah, you should see the color of it. It's freaking highlighter yellow.
Yeah.
And I don't feel energized, but holy crap, is my heart rate like... So I don't know why I'm still drinking it. I might have to switch to some Edix tea.
Can you describe the flavor, by the way?
Yeah.
It's like lemon juice, but it has that weird energy drink tang to it.
So it's like a lemonade.
Yeah.
Like a lemonade?
So not at all like an Aussie one. See, there are two types of, I guess you would call it, do you call it lemon squash here? Like
lemon squash?
Like carbonated lemon drink, right? They don't really, like, no, not Sprite is lemon lime.
Are you pitching us on lemon squash? What?
No, like I haven't seen it here, so I don't really know if you guys would be familiar with, like, we have Lyft, which is Coca-Cola company, and then there's another one called Solo, which is a Schweppes one. Now Schweppes is lightly aerated, so it takes out the bubbles, so it's a little bit smoother. Lyft is just like Fanta, but lemon flavored. So I was curious as to whether or not this was going to be smooth, like Solo, or a little bit sharper, like Lyft. It was neither, so I was disappointed, but I still drank it. Still drinking it. And
maybe we should stop.
I didn't pour the whole thing. I only poured like a quarter of a cup because I knew that I was like, it's, do I really want to be wide?
I was going to say, it's late, and you're having an energy drink, and you're going to be lying in bed at 4 a.m. and your heart's still going to just be pounding.
I'll give you updates tomorrow.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
I'm going to turn my phone on mute. Hey, I don't know. Do you guys orange juice, pulp in or no pulp?
Good question.
Because when you got me thinking about lemonade squash, I was thinking, like, is that like a lemonade but like with pulp?
I went through phases. I went through phases of pulp / no pulp, and I think I've settled on no pulp right now. I did for a while for whatever reason. I just in in my mind, I would think pulp equals more fresh. That's why I wanted pulp before.
Because I was just going to ask why I just cannot figure out for the life of me, and I love that you've given it this much thought into pulp or no pulp.
Yes.
But for the life of me, I could never figure out why somebody would want fucking pulp in their orange juice. Like that would be the most disappointing thing. You go have orange juice and there's pulp in it. I was like, why? I don't understand. But fresh, okay, so you have an answer. But
yeah, but I mean, it's psychological. I mean, it's the same thing, just more strained. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
So for health reasons,
yeah, maybe pulp has more fiber. I guess I don't.
More vitamin
is that
C.
Well, let's jump right into it. I was before Hayden came on. I was telling Justin that I've been watching a few things here and there. Let's rewind. One of the highlights I do want to bring up is that since I came back, I've been watching more stand-up comedy, and yeah, even stand-up comedy is one of those things where, of course, if you go to see a headliner or someone it brings an extra element of excitement if you're a big fan of that guy or whatever or girl. But there's so many stand-up comics who are so talented, I think. And I mean, you can call it, this sounds awful, but they're no-namers, right? You don't really know them, and they're local most of the time, but they're really funny. They're really funny. And that being said, I did go to the Great Outdoor Comedy Festival. I think it was last week or last week or whatever. And yeah, I got to go see Bobby Lee, and one of my heroes. And yeah, he did not disappoint because the main headliner was Tom Segura. He had around a 45-minute spot, and Bobby was before him, and he had like maybe 15. And I think some people actually left after Bobby finished. And I wouldn't have been disappointed if my group was like, okay, let's go. Tom was funny too, but I think Bobby just from beginning to end, I don't think I remember last time I laughed that hard, but that was really fun. But then as for shows, I've been watching a show called Bad Monkey, which is a sort of like a not lighthearted, but a kind of a comedic murder mystery kind of vibe, a little bit like Murders in the Building. Is it only Murders in the Building? But I probably not as good, but it's still, I recommend it. And I also binged in one day the record-breaking Shogun, which was very entertaining.
When did Shogun come out? Has it been out for a while?
I think has it been a year? Hey, you think?
I'm looking it up right now. Getting the IT team on it to check it out.
Close to a year. I think close to a year. Nice. But yeah, it won like 18 Emmys or something like that, with like a crap load more nominations. It's just it's filmed locally too. It's filmed in Vancouver, which is nice.
Very cool.
And they're quite they're very authentic in a lot of things. They brought in a lot of people from Japan. They cast Japanese people. It's not like oh, you look Asian, so why don't you what I mean? It's just like
so you didn't
I didn't
I'm Japanese.
I get it wrong. But it was
have you ever auditioned for a different Asian?
No, but I have
I don't know how else to put that, Hayden. Don't judge me.
Understand.
That was very PC. It was quite
because a lot of the auditions I go to is just usually it will say open ethnicity, and it's just I see Hispanics, I see Indians, I see everything. We used to be grouped in that little bunch, but I have been to an audition where they told me to put on an accent, like a.
What'd you have to do? Like a Asian one?
Oh, you know
like
what movie
Scottish?
it was? Oh no! What's that
Scottish accent?
Okay,
Scottish Asian.
What's the name of the guy that's the Simon Pegg? He did a movie here one time, and it was his movie, and I was supposed to play a monk. Like I auditioned as a monk in the movie, whatever. And then so I did the take. It was like only a few lines, and then I don't remember how I did it. But then the casting director was like, "Do you mind putting it like a accent?" I'm like, "Oh, like a."
Like you just call him out on it.
Yeah. like
yeah.
a Chinese accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do one? I'm like,
Yeah.
sure. Sure, let's try it. And then I don't remember what I did.
You should have
Yeah.
made them guess, like, and that would be what type of
Yeah,
age? A chai
Yeah.
what?
Well, I
man,
had
wish I
this
remembered.
I had this conversation with Shao the other day, Justin, and he picked the accent straight away, and I was like, "How'd you do that?" But I sent him a clip of a Filipino guy, and you're like, and he's like, "I fucking hate those Filipino accents," and I was like, "What? How'd you know it was a Filipino?" And he's like,
No, it was
"Because-" I'll let
it
him
was
tell the story.
Singaporean. It was Singaporean.
Singaporean, was it?
Singaporean.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. I'm totally wrong.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've got a
No,
prejudice towards Filipinos.
Let me just set
Hayden
this
hates
straight.
Filipinos.
I love
Except
going
Lou,
to
I
Singapore.
love Lou.
Singapore, very nice people. They have a thing called Singlish, which is their version. I mean, it's English, but they have a little twist in it, right? I can't even do the cadence and the accent, but you can hear it. It's very obvious, and they add a little things here and there. They like to add the word "la" a lot at the end of a sentence. So they'd be like, we do a podcast now, la, like that kind of thing. It's so I hear it so many times. I hear it so much that when I went there to watch the Chili Peppers, I took a cab, and next to the cab driver, there's a little note that said, "Remember, if you're driving, don't use your mobile device, la." Like they put it in writing there, which was like, I was like, what? It was
What is
unreal.
it? What is it? What is it? What is it for? Like, is it?
It's a very good question.
Yeah, I wonder if
Like-
it's like a sound in
Well-
the dialect that they couldn't
Okay.
they can't cut it out, so they just have to add it
Or
in.
maybe it's like maybe that's just how they're letting each other know that they're done their sentence.
Okay, so
It-
because
like
It's
when
just
you
like
guys say
period for them, but
Cantonese-
they just say la.
in Cantonese, for example, you can add la at the end. Okay, for example, if I say "let's go" or like "hurry up," okay, hurry up is "fai That literally means hurry up. And if I say "fai la," it just means it's kind of comes across like a little bit more casual, because "fai is like a demand, like hurry the fuck up kind
I
of thing,
see.
faster.
Yeah.
Whereas "fai la" is like, oh come on, like let's go. It's a little bit like a more casual sense of the phrase, I guess. But yeah, they don't ever write it out in signage or whatever in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that seems
yeah,
seems very
but,
unique.
yeah.
I have to say, it's been so long, and I was so excited to hear about that comedy fest that came here, and I would have loved to have gone and seen some comics. And it's been so long since I've been to a live comedy show, but I always feel like, just to go like agree with what you're saying, is there's so many funny comedians out there. Like obviously there's the big headliners, everybody knows them, but I don't think I've had a bad experience going to like the local comedy shows here. I'm not talking about like open mic. I'm talking about when they just have whoever, like they're professional, they're touring comedians basically that, are doing their thing, and just being in an environment like that, I find it just makes it that much more enjoyable,
The only time I've had a bad experience at stand up is because of some people in the crowd. Some people might be talking too loud or just being disrespectful. Like that can ruin
Freaking
a lot,
hecklers.
right? I mean, if the performer can deal with it in a funny way, then they'll help the performance. Maybe like some comics are really good with hecklers, and some people can do great crowd work.
Well, I was gonna say that's the big thing on social media right now is comedians doing crowd work.
Yeah,
I
Matt
watch
Rife
so
is
much of it.
pretty much
Oh,
all crowd work.
There's this other guy I watch so much of him, and then I don't know if you saw the one with Chris D'Elia where he goes and he actually does a stand-up bit calling out all the people that do crowd work. It's freaking hilarious.
I've seen that.
He's
Yeah.
like basically making fun of how they're just relying on crowd work for social media to get these little like bits, and then he just starts ripping into him, man, and it's so funny. Anyways, I'll send it to you if you haven't seen it. Hayden, have you been to? Do you go to live comedy at all?
I love going to live shows. Comedy is one that I would like to get into more of because I love watching it. Love watching it. Love growing up with it, and I never knew why. Like I never went to a live show of it. I don't know why. I think the first live one was actually one that Shao was at as well, but we didn't realize when we went and saw. Oh, there's the first sneeze. It's been a while. How's it feel?
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
I thought that was only a studio thing.
I think
It's
it's
getting
might
too
be
comfortable
You
at
guys,
home.
I'm allergic to Hayden's bullshit. It's when he
Yeah,
stopped.
I didn't actually go to this
What was
show. I
that?
just was like, oh, I saw Shao at this show. I'll pretend that I was there too. Just
Yeah.
social status.
That was a
Like,
good show. That was a good show. I like that show.
And for those listening, it was Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
what?
That was They did a lot. It was last December at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. They
Yes, I
came
remember it
through
was
town.
slushy that night.
You didn't
Oh, yeah.
know you were going to that? You went to a Whose Line Is It Anyways, and you didn't know it was going to be a comedy show?
No, I didn't know that Shao was also at the show until after
Oh.
the fact.
Yeah.
Oh,
Otherwise, it would have been like, yo, let's meet up in the lobby, Let's all go
Yeah.
to the lobby.
Yeah, that's right. And that's when I would say, oh, my phone died. And then I don't know.
And then he's like,
With
I can't
yeah.
see you.
2%,
Where are you? I
2%.
can't see you.
But we
Can't see
actually
you."
sat relatively close to each other. We didn't see each other.
Yeah, I was the obnoxious.
I mean, I know it's a little bit difficult for you to go to these shows, Hayden, because you live 9 hours away. But at the same time, I went to one called the Underground Comedy. It's called Underground Comedy. I think it's right by VFS. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
I don't know if I've heard or been to that one. No, I know is it the Cellar, the one that's on Burrard in the across from the St. Paul's Hospital?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
So I was getting at the Underground. They usually have shows on Thursdays and Fridays, and some like the weekends as well. But if you go, they'll sign you up for the email list, and then on Thursdays and Fridays, a lot of the times when I get emails saying that they need seat fillers or whatever, and it's free. So I mean, otherwise it's not
nice.
that expensive anyways. It's like maybe $10 or something like that, or $15 or whatever. But it's actually not a bad deal at all if you're close by. You can make it there. It's just free shows every week. There's probably
It's
free
better
shows.
too. The more people there,
Oh my
it
god,
just-
yeah.
it adds to it. It's the whole environment. Would you ever do it?
Have I gone to one of the free shows?
No. Would you ever do stand-up comedy? Would you ever try?
I've thought about it before, but I am not good with writing my own material. I think I don't have a. I
Can
don't
I
think I
write
have
for
an
you?
issue of
What if
going-
I wrote you a 3-minute bit? Would you go on
Ghostwriter.
stage and do it?
I would consider doing it.
Oh my god, we should do this.
A 3-minute spot. I feel like you need at least 5.
Crowd work, man. Crowd work.
Actually, you know what? I think it's 5 because they will, if it's your first time going up, they give you a certain amount of time. Because I've tried it, and whatever my time was, and I was like, oh shit, I rehearsed it, so it was like that time, and I think I was like a bit over, but I needed the time to finish the bit. And so when I was there and I was talking to the guy that was running it, I said, oh, I know I'm only supposed to have 4 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is. I was like, but it's clocking in around this. And he just looks at me and he goes, oh, if you have something like time, that's fine. I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was gonna, I don't know, be cut off or told, no, I can't do it. And I was like, shit, I'm over my time.
Right. I just know the timing of the thing. I guess it's looser there, but if you have, 10 people, like at the Comedy Store in LA, they usually have, 8 people
Yeah.
or something like that. So the timing is very strict on that, because then you're going into someone else's time, right? It's a pretty scheduled and strict thing. But maybe here it's more lax, something like that. I'm not sure. I mean, you do see a red light, on the back, like warning you 1 minute left or whatever. But good for you though. Actually, I want to know more about this. Your stand-up routine. Did you have any sort of character, or did you?
I did
What
actually.
kind of stuff did you talk
I did.
about?
I did.
Did you?
I thought, well, because it was when we were in acting school, and actually, it's funny because Moses and I and Eric, well, mostly me and Moses, we were talking about wanting to do it, and
Yeah.
then Moses went and did his first bit, and we went there, supported him. It was awesome, and he was just like asking me like if it was still something I was considering wanting to try, and I told him yes. And then he just came up to me one day at school and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I got you 3 minutes at this place tonight for this date, not tonight. Sorry."
Okay.
I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I kept it. I was like, because I probably would have kept putting it off. So I just I developed a character. I named him Eduardo. I had big glasses with no lenses in them. I was very like sheepish when I went up there. Like they called me up and I kind of like went up to the
So
stage
did you have
and,
an
and the
accent?
guy well, he was kind of just like super nerdy and shy, and then gets talking into like, I don't know, a lot of it was about masturbating, I believe,
Perfect.
and
That's
yeah,
always funny,
yeah.
especially the ending.
Yeah. Oh, the ending. Actually, you know what was the best part of it? Yeah, I know where you're trying to lead me, Hayden. I'm not taking the bait.
What?
Yeah. He's just dangling the just low-hanging fruit in front of me. Hey?
Yeah.
Yemi was there, and he had the greatest laugh ever. And he just gave me so much confidence. Like he was
I
just
know
sitting at
that's hey.
yeah.
So we have to make a deal that if you do this and we manage to get this actually a thing, Kate has to come. Kate has to come.
I'll get babysitters. I won't tell her though, because she won't. But I'll tell her and I'll just bring her there like we're going, and then
Okay.
you and I will go on stage. That'd be hilarious.
Hayden, the other day after we were doing
He's got to
students,
come
as you
too.
know, I went to Justin's place to get chairs, which I still have, and so I went in for a beer after, and then I don't remember what I was saying, just like a regular normal story
You
that
said,
wasn't
hey.
supposed to be funny,
Well,
and Kate's like,
she died.
You're just a
I'm like,
funny guy.
"Oh, this
You're
is
just a funny guy.
fantastic."
I think
Well,
it's
I
because in the
remember.
story you referred to, you said like, hey, because that's what
Oh,
we've been
yeah.
calling him. And you just were talking and
lost it.
said, hey, and she just started dying. Yeah.
She lost it.
She's like, what?
It's great.
All I
But, Hayden,
got
would you
from
be
that
in?
night was, oh yeah, I'd be in. I'd be
Like, as in, would you do a 3-minute spot?
I could try. I could certainly give the old college try.
I don't think he's trying, Shao. I don't think
not
he's
trying.
But
Well, I would have to
Sure, we just have to make sure he drinks enough energy drinks before he gets on
Yeah.
stage.
look at that guy have a heart attack on stage. That's a good bit. I'm like, it's not a bit.
Yeah.
Someone call an ambulance. If it's right across the street from the hospital. Actually, does that hospital still operate as a hospital?
Well, that's not where I went. I was like, it was
Oh,
like a
never
fucking
mind then.
bar. It was a step above open mic night. Maybe it started with open mic night. I don't know, but I think if if I didn't, Shao, I can't believe you wouldn't have been there. You must have been like away or something. Like, I don't know how you wouldn't. Did you?
Yeah,
Were you there?
I don't know. I don't know.
There was a
'Cause
group that came.
you guys were in the
and-
same class though, right? Because I know maybe it was term 1 or something or whatever, and I think you guys were more tight knit. Like you guys had a pretty close bond with like Pam and I think Krista as well. You know, I think that term your class was very very close, and maybe you guys had this
because we were in
group.
essentials together, right? But not term 1.
Yeah, we were in
Interns, yeah.
we were in term 2 or something together, but I digress.
Anyways,
listen,
so there's a bunch of people that came, and then I think outside of that there might have been just 3 or 4 people. But so that was if they weren't there, if I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna try stand up and went by myself, it would have been so difficult because there was like at like the time I had, obviously as the evening went on, more and more people came, and then the comedians that were getting obviously more minutes was
Yeah.
fuller, but like my slot was like, you know, somebody walking home from work and needed to stop in for a glass of water, and then there's me on stage telling a joke to 2 people. What would you do, Shao? Or what if I wrote you your bit and you wrote me my bit?
And here I am
I
having to
write for
write my
you?
own shit.
Yeah, what would you write for me?
Oh, I don't.
Okay,
'Cause
what would you
our-
write
I
for
feel like
yourself?
I feel like our humor is more just like the dirty kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, for sure.
I like
Like,
that was a
full
little
nast.
the dirty. You kind of
Yeah.
lent into that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So it's maybe a sprinkle of like the childish fart humor jokes, that kind of stuff, and I already know what I'm gonna do for Hayden. It's a little bit different.
Are you gonna
but,
write stuff for me? Yes, I don't have to write my own stuff. I
well,
feel
if I write it, you
so
better
like
say
I
it.
made it. Someone writes
You
my
made
shit
it.
for me.
Yeah, because you know how Australians have like a generally like a it's not a stereotype, but a lot of people say Australians are very, very nice. They're whatever.
What? Who
But I'm
says
gonna-
that?
I'm gonna play on the opposite of that
Who
one.
says that?
We're all a bunch of fucking
Who said that?
assholes.
They're always friendly or whatever. They like to, make fun of, have a good time. But I'm gonna really lean into your stance on
Women in
anti-feminism.
sports.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm
That
gonna
kind of
really
stuff.
lean into that one.
Oh,
Hey, just to
Heavily.
piggyback on last time, last episode, we were talking a little bit more about stories of auditions or on set
Yes.
things. Yeah, I remember, Justin, I think you were gonna say something.
Yeah.
but we got the signal from Tito. So
Yes, because the audition, I was talking about my audition where the yam crawled up my butt and then out of my mouth.
yes.
I've just got to say,
Yes.
a yam isn't a small starch. It's
Dude, why do you think I was so shocked when they said that? When they left, I was literally turned to the people like, how do they want me to play this? Like, they're asking for me to react to a yam-sized alien crawling up my asshole when I'm just trying to eat a fucking tuna sandwich. You know what I mean?
that says a lot
Like, 'cause if
about the
that
casting
started
person.
happening-
They're like,
in
hey,
real life.
something small like a yam.
Yeah. No,
I'll be
think
asking some questions of them.
Yeah. But no, so on the day we were shooting it, they had like, and this is where I love movie magic, because you just, when you see it, even when you're experiencing it, you're like, the technology or the lengths they go through to get this shot. And so when we were shooting the scene, I had like this wire, and they had like this, I don't know, I don't want to say it was like a sock, but the best to describe it, like looking fabric thing. And there was like a wire running through my pants. And then when they would, and it was to mimic the movement of like an alien. So when they would turn it on, it would start moving around and wiggling. And then they'd pull the wire as it went up my leg. And so I'm reacting to this thing to show this thing crawling up my leg. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like they built this
Trust
thing.
me,
they
I don't
got this
need the wire.
on. What's that?
I said, don't worry. I don't need the
Yeah.
wire.
No, yeah, it'll wiggle. And so they're doing it, but every time they're pulling the wire, it would just keep kind of jamming up. So they're trying to figure out like how to resolve this. So this is all happening behind me, and then they kind of start talking quietly. I was like, this is interesting. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then like I kind of look, and they kind of joked about not looking around. And they're like, I think we got to take it out of this puppet or whatever it was. And so they pull it out, and it's just this giant, wiggling, vibrating dildo. And I was like, what the fuck?
There it is.
And like,
There
of course, it's me. Like, I thought it was funny. And they're like, the guy was telling me he had to go into the store to like purchase this thing for the
Okay.
set to get it. So
Right.
he's like
Sure.
in this sex
So
shop.
I just
yeah,
got one in my trunk.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
guarantee you
and
they tried to
so-
return that shit too after it was used.
I hope so. But I just think it's funny because you watch these, if you're to watch that show and you see it, and you'd physically, it would look like something crawling up the back of somebody's leg. And then actually what's happening is some poor guy is sitting on set. Well, like two burly men behind him are pulling up a
Yanking.
giant wiggling pink dildo to his asshole. like movie magic.
You're like, what kind of
It was-
movie is this? It's
Yeah.
like, trust me, it's an alien invasion movie.
It was, but it was fun. It was all good fun. But it's just, it was a great audition experience. And then like filming that scene was one of those moments where you hang on to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hayden, have you ever directed like a intimate scene, like a either just like a makeout or like a sex scene?
I personally have
And
not.
can you describe it to Shao very detailed?
As
and-
much detail as possible.
Yeah, like
Well, I am an auteur, and I believe in filming actual penetration, not this. No, with serious actors. No, funnily enough, that's one thing that I have never done. Like in our feature film, Burn Your Name, selfish plug. There is the before and there is the after.
that's the tagline, by the way, Shao. Burn your
Oh.
name. Selfish plug.
Yeah.
There's the before and the after.
That's what I
That's
remember
yeah.
seeing in the poster. That's
The
right.
log line. Yeah.
Selfish plug. That because at the time that we were filming that, I wasn't confident in my skills to shoot that kind of scene. So I was like, you know what? It's not needed. So I had to build myself up to it. And I haven't had another chance since. You get one shot at it. And I definitely needed a fluffer on board to help me shoot a scene like that.
So
But
full pun intended, but so what I'm hearing you saying is if you're gonna do it, you want to go balls deep, like and just do
balls
it,
deep.
make it
No,
good.
well, it depends. Like, I mean, I obviously experimented on that film. I personally was like, let me play this scene out first, and then I'll let you guys know how it is.
Listen, do you want this acting job or not?
I'll be the stand-in, and I need
James
my lead
Cameron.
actors in there with me so I can visualize it. I have a follow-up story actually about something that we worked on, Justin, that I was a little bit about. But anyway, I've never all of the projects I've done, none of them had that kind of scene in it. And then I threw in Burn Your Name, obviously dealt with same-sex relationships and bi relationships and all that stuff. And so everybody kind of got to experiment on screen with someone of the other sex, and even Justin got to, and I actually wanted to talk about that, but I don't need to talk about this one. But anyway, the one sex scene in the film it's not shown, right? It's like there's the makeout at the start, and then it cuts to the next, moment where it's done. So long freaking answer to your question. No, I have never done that.
Okay. Would have saved me a
You
lot more
sure?
time if we just said no. But
Yeah, but then
That felt like a
then-
one-word answer, dude. Come on. That you like.
Yeah, but see, when I do that, you guys go, "Oh wow, thanks for the enthusiasm." I can't win, so I got to find a happy medium in the middle. No,
You'll get there. You'll get
yeah,
there.
you'll get there. I mean, it wouldn't be, you did tell the story, but if you had more enthusiasm with telling the story, that would be another thing too.
oh man,
Right.
something in the water.
That should be your
here.
character when you go to a stand-up, just like the really low energy Aussie, which is like,
monotoned.
yeah, very monotone.
Just one-liners. Just dropping one-liners.
Yeah.
I
I want to
Just
go
one
after
line.
Hayden, by the way, if this is the case. I want to follow Hayden.
Are you
Because-
kidding me? It would crush, dude. It would.
Go on
People
there
at
and
first
the
would be like,
crickets.
"What's happening?" And then it's like
What's
comedy, right? If it goes on long enough, it eventually.
It'll pay off if it goes on. long enough.
Eventually becomes
it'll-
funny.
That's right. I did bring that up because one of the stories I had when I was shooting something in Hong Kong was that I had to do. It wasn't a sex scene. It was like there was blocking required because it was a bedroom scene. But my character is this kind of rich director, producer kind of guy from LA. And I go to Hong Kong, and there's an actress who's very young and wants to make in the business. And you see where this is going. And
Casting couch.
the storyline is that she actually does admire me and like me. until she kind of sees what I'm like, kind of thing. So it was at a club, and then she comes, and then I kind of like whatever. I think I get her to drink, and then I take her to her room, and then the story goes is like I get her in bed and she's not down, and then she leaves, and then like she like kicks me in the nuts, and then she leaves, something like that.
Okay, time out. Okay. You can't say like that. What happened? Okay, because you're not like, yeah, we had a drink, we went back to my room, and she wasn't down, so she just kicked me in the nuts and ran away. Like, what were you doing to her for her? Like, were you trying to drug her and pin her?
And I was why didn't she I was just trying to take advantage of her. Like so I had her in bed, but I think her character actually liked me in a way that's more pure, where I'm more of the pervy director who just wants to take advantage of girls kind of thing, which kind of tags back what we were talking last time. But
Hayden,
right. But so that being said, like I got the script for this, and I'm like, oh no, this is like, first of all, I want to know who I'm working with, like who the girl is. She looked like she was 16, so I was very concerned. I
was she
before
Asian?
Shooting, huh?
Was she Asian?
She was Asian.
Well, yeah, okay.
So before shooting, I talked to her, and she's quite famous in not being an actor, but she's like an influencer, and she's quite famous, and she's kind of breaking into acting. But I talked to her and I asked her, by the way, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I'm 24. I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah. That's one thing. And two was, I remember from Vancouver Film School that when you have an intimate scene, it's good to sit down and talk to your partner about boundaries, even before blocking, right? What's okay, what's not okay. I really wanted to make sure this gets across, right? She has no training. A lot of people on set don't have that kind of training as well. And I think this is the right thing to do, I think, to make sure she's comfortable, because it's her first time on set, her first drama, her first bedroom scene, whatever. It's my first bedroom scene too.
Yeah, and you're looking for permission to see how hard you can come into this. That's right.
Correct.
You're like, yeah,
correct. So
is that a pun intended too?
I said,
no, but it works perfectly. Yeah.
I sat her down and I just kind of told her, you have to let me know if because the script said for me to like have my hand on her thigh and slowly reach up her skirt kind of thing. And I'm like, you have to let me know where and when, just hit my hand or whatever.
Chicken or go.
Yeah. And then she was clearly very nervous about it, because press was there and they kind of sat us down to interview us about, oh, so we heard you're doing like a bedroom scene, like blah, blah, blah. And so she was a little bit nervous about that. And we had several times blocking, right? We had blocking rehearsals, but she refused to do it because she wanted to avoid it, I think. Right. Whereas blocking rehearsals, I think, would make you more comfortable. Like, okay, we're doing this practice, close set, no one in here except for the director and one other person. I can't remember who it was. Oh, a camera person. And we're just gonna block it. And she's like, oh, I don't think can we not do it? And I'm like, trust me, this is gonna be way worse if we don't do it in front of 40 people. You know what I mean? And so long story short, we were doing it. It was fine, but then
sounded like you're trying to persuade a woman to do something that she didn't want to do.
You know what?
You just
in hindsight, right, okay, hold on.
Whoa.
In hindsight, that sounds really bad. It sounds really bad.
Listen, there's 40 people out there. Just sit on the bed and let me put my hand up your skirt.
Yeah, I'm like, shh, just do it. Just do it. But yeah, I also remember one take in particular, because I think she was very nervous. So she was very almost like a mannequin. Like she just didn't really do anything. And so the script called for me doing that. And then she removes my hand. And then I'm like, oh, like kind of like, don't be so like really gross. Like, don't be so shy. And then so I put my hand, like I kind of put it on the bed and I started kissing her. But I remember she never kissed back. She was just like, as people call it, like a dead fish sort of vibe. And so director yells, cut. Hey, can you act like you're actually enjoying it? Because at this particular moment, he hasn't shown his true ugly side yet, and you're still kind of into him. So I need you to kiss him like you like it. And it's like, oh, okay. And she does it again. Same thing, nothing. Literally, it's like me, like, you know, as a kid, I was like
Maybe she's never
practicing on
kissed
like my
before.
hand or some shit. And I was like that. It's like nothing. And then cut again 3, 4, 5 times later. I'm like, okay, we can keep going if you want. I don't fucking care. And then it's like on the 5th
Yeah.
time, she kind of did, and then I felt really bad about this, and I later had to apologize to her because I think I was kind of, this sounds gross, but I was kind of into the character in a way that, because I was doing what I was doing and like kind of trying to take advantage of someone in the character,
Mhm.
and because there was resistance, there was one particular take that was a little bit more aggressive, and I actually like, I think I used a little bit of tongue with the kissing. And I immediately was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I was just like, "This is." I felt really bad. I really, and then I apologized after. She's like, "Oh, what? I didn't notice." And I was like, "Okay, cool." But I remember immediately feeling like I was going to be in trouble. Like I was going to be, oh, I was like, "Oh my god!" I hope the camera didn't see that. I didn't like do full tongue. I was just like a little bit of like a snake dart.
Church
You're
tongue.
lucky.
Yeah,
You were a full tongue away from getting me too'd.
I know.
Yeah.
So
That's,
yeah, I mean those
could see how
situations
it
can
fit.
always be a little bit awkward, like, you know, blocking for intimate scenes and all that stuff. I can understand why it's a little bit awkward. That's not even the worst case, right? I mean, like, it's not I've never done a full blown
Dude, it's
sex scene.
the most awkward thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So that's
believe.
why I think also talking to someone beforehand and just
Always.
making light of it, joke around a little bit just to get the whole, should be loose.
How are you? So here's my question. After, so you do the scene,
Yes.
and then they call cut. What is your guys' immediate? Because I've had to do scenes like that.
Yep.
And the moment after, when it's called cut, I always find is like the most awkward moment because you kind of don't know what to do. Like what
Yeah.
was
So-
your, because especially because it's usually an emotional scene. Like it sounds like yours was, she's pulling away because she feels you're taking advantage of her. You're a guy taking advantage of her. You're into the character, and then like you're trying to back on her, slip her little snake tongue, and then it's like, okay, cut, and then it's like now you're just sitting there. Do you remember what that moment was like for you?
I do remember very clearly because I knew for a fact that the director was getting a little bit frustrated with her. Like the crew was getting a bit frustrated too. And so she's feeling that pressure. And I know that side of it. I wasn't getting any notes, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
You were fantastic.
Well, no, it could also be like, oh fuck, he's a lost cause. So let's focus on this girl. So she was, the notes for her just like, oh, you have to just at one point it just was like, be better, because at the beginning it was just like, you like him at this point, can you show that you kind of like him, can you like whatever, don't be so shy, and say, oh, okay. And so after 4, 5, 6 takes, it's clear that she's not as experienced. So my immediate thing after cut was checking up on her to see if she's okay, because I don't want her to get more and more closed off. So I was just, there's different little things I would find, little pockets of, you did really good there, that's a good beat, or whatever. I would reassure her on those notes, but I wasn't directing her because that's not my job. But that was my initial thing, was just to make sure that she's comfortable and not sink in even more, because it's happened to me several times before where I screw up, I keep screwing up the one line or one word I can't say, and I just get smaller and smaller and smaller, and my performance is shit after, right? So that's, it is awkward. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I would probably be like, oh, like what did I do? Okay, whatever. But it was just a matter of, I think as more of a senior person on set that day, I was just trying to look out for her, I think.
It's so important, I think, especially in those cases. It's all about trust, especially in scenes like that. So being able to trust your scene partner.
I think it might be in some cases it might be even better if you're doing it with someone you're not as familiar with, maybe. I mean, because I remember the one time in film school where I had to do a kissing scene with Katie McTeer, who was one of my closest friends in film school, and that was awkward. That was more awkward for me than doing it with a stranger, because I feel like doing a stranger, I'm like, okay, we're both supposed to be professional actors, so let's see what we bring to the table. Whereas we're good friends, it's like, oh, is this gonna be weird? This is also like 10, 12 years ago, right? So it's like, oh, is this gonna be weird? Like, oh my God. And so Suzanne, our teacher, was like, okay, guys, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Bite the bullet. I'm leaning in. And then as Katie's leaning in, I'm like looking at the hairs on her lip. I'm like, oh man, she has more facial hair than me. Like, I'm thinking of these little things, and we start laughing, and then we just gets like, it just all downhill. Once you break that laugh barrier, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
See, for me,
how would you go about doing this kind of stuff? Like, I would imagine, a blocking thing is important, right? Like if do you have chemistry reads before you start these kind of things? Or even for casting?
Is that a question for me?
Well, more okay. My question for Justin, same question, but it's more, how would your preference be for dealing with intimate scenes? And Hayden, how would you do it actually if you had that in your? Do you know what I mean, Justin? It's just like,
yeah.
Ideally, how would you go?
I've had to do a number of them actually. So
that's where I recognize you from. Okay.
So I'll let Hayden go first.
You let me go first. So, like I was saying before, I've never personally had to do them, but yeah, I've done emotionally charged scenes before. So I myself pride, the fact that I get very intimate with my actors in the fact that I will sit there, not coach them, but I will get in their headspace on how they're feeling about the situation, and then also how their character is feeling in the situation, and then workshop on the spot, but not too much as to take away from a performance. So
you don't have any like sex scene shots in mind per se?
No,
you're not like, I need this back
POV,
buttocks,
POV,
like,
yeah,
a very avant-garde. So I'll just be floating with the camera around and know when I need to punch in, when I need to pull out, and punch in deeper, and then pull out even more, and then go to that, the money shot of the scene where you get all of that emotional splatter on the screen. That's what I'm after.
He's definitely shot porn before. Hey,
oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm just like literally trying to look it up right now.
Well, it's funny because a mutual friend of ours, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he has done music for porn before under a pseudonym, because he's like, it pays freaking really, really well, and it's like, it's easy shit for him to do. And like, I think I would 100% shoot it if I was just like, here is like $100,000 to go shoot this. I'm like, fuck yeah, give me that money and I will shoot it. And then I'll go do something that's like actually worth my, artistic integrity. But
for shooting it in a film though, basically you would be checking in with your actors, and then sort of like on the day, close set, just you and them and the camera.
As few people as possible in the actual space.
Yeah, so for me at Shao, in those scenes that I've had to do, there's definitely conversations that are had before. And then even had conversation kind of privately with like the producer was checking in and doing that, and like making sure it was going to be a close set. So it was the producer, director, and sound and camera, I guess, involved. And it was for an independent project, but they were very professional about how they handled those scenes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, now they have like people who they come on set to like choreograph. Like I can't remember what they're called, but
Yeah.
you have more and more of that now because you sometimes hear stories about how
Well, I think it's
guy would
important
get
to
carried away.
protect. Well, it's important to protect the actors. I mean, they're
Yeah,
putting
for sure.
themselves in a incredibly vulnerable position, and you know, I think it's important that there's more, I don't know, safeguards around it now, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, and just kind of pulling it back to what I experience is like I sometimes you just lose yourself in the moment and you don't even because especially if it's not just like a lovemaking scene or it can be a fight scene or an argument or something really intense that maybe one particular take you're just feeling something else and you just decide to do something and that can just through domino effect it can trigger something or it can lead to something breaking. It can lead to I mean it can be good and bad in a way that it can elevate the scene, but it can also, especially a love scene, it could definitely step on some toes and all that stuff.
Totally. I had a moment of, it's like, it wasn't a sex scene though, but of just being in that moment and just like so into it, like you say, that all of a sudden you do something that was just a bit too much. And mine was actually in an audition in a screen testing with this other actor, and I pulled a gun on him. And when we were doing the scene, we had run it a few times, and one, it was just like, it was just built up, and I think I grabbed him and I pushed him against the wall, and like I just put the gun, and then they like called cut, and he was like, whoa, like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just, but it's instinct. We were just playing off each other, and as we were workshopping it, or like the director was giving us notes and stuff for like the next take, it was just like growing, and then it's just like, whoa, yeah, okay, that was probably
Right.
like, if it, but at the same time, fucking crush that audition.
Yeah, I love those moments though. Those are
Yeah.
fun moments. But just to wrap things up, maybe on a lighter note, I'm gonna completely switch and just do a little small, really short little trivia / quiz thing for both of you. Has nothing to do with anything we said before, but
Let's go.
I want you guys to
Oh wait,
try
time.
and
Oh,
guess-
oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry?
Go ahead. Sorry. No.
I want you guys to try and guess the top 10 highest grossing Adam Sandler movies of all time. And I think each, okay, so maybe I'll give you each, like maybe Justin or Hayden.
How many guesses do we get?
Okay, I'm just gonna say 3 each. I don't know who will go first, but someone will go first, and I'll just cross it off the list if you guys get and see who gets the most out of the 10.
Oh, I feel like some of his later ones might be his highest. Okay, can I go for? Can I go first?
Okay, you can go first, Justin. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't have to be in any sort of order. Just get the name right.
Yeah. Funny People.
Funny People is not on the list.
Okay. Surprised Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen.
Hayden.
I'm gonna say Hotel Transylvania.
Oh fuck, that's a good guess.
Shao
looks like he just made up this list himself. He's like,
which one?
The first one. Oh, actually, I would probably go the sequel because it would be more established. So number 2.
Final answer. Okay. That is correct. That's number 2 on the list.
Oh,
they're probably both on there. That he's just. I'm gonna say Hotel Transylvania 3. Keep on trancing. Sylvanian.
That is number 3 on the list.
Yeah.
Really nice. Because
this
is like
the first one now.
It's like, is it live action or is it?
This thing
sounds like it could be either or.
I'm going to have to. Oh, I want to say one of his art housey ones, but I don't know if they'll be very big. But I'm going to say Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems is surprisingly not on the list.
Ah.
Oh, it's going to be.
Hubie Halloween. That was like the greatest one ever.
Yeah.
Wait your turn.
Settle down. That was
right
Netflix.
now. It's tied.
Are we including the Netflix deal he made? Because all the ones on Netflix then. Because I'm gonna go with Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love is not on the list.
I guess I wouldn't be high.
This is why this list is. I'm doing this list because some of these names are like what. Anyways,
Is it something
Hayden?
like Click?
And Click is on the list. Click is
Oh my
number
God.
7 with
Number
238 million.
It's gonna be
So-
like Pixels is on there, even though it was the biggest bomb in the fucking world.
Pixels is number 6, baby. 244 mil.
Jesus.
I want to
And
say
even though you guys didn't officially say it,
Hotel Transylvania.
that is number 1.
ah, damn. I should have trusted
Well,
my
if
gut.
2 and 3 were on there, of course 1 is.
Oh,
gonna-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's number 3. Hotel Transylvania 3 is number 1. With 528 million.
Oh, the
which is
third one is the
bonkers.
highest ranking one.
So
Damn.
how many spots do we have left?
Okay,
Of the
so you
10.
have 1, 2, you said Pixels and Click. 3, 4, 5 you haven't. You got
Okay.
5.
Can we say Big Daddy? Like, come on, give us one of his like beauty ones. Has got to be on there.
Big Daddy's number 8.
Nice.
The Wedding Singer?
Yes. Unfortunately, Wedding Singer, the one of my favorites, is not on there.
What the hell?
I'm gonna go Happy Gilmore just because. Oh, I guess this is box office, or is this just like selling of all time? I guess this is box office.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of the
Yeah.
Netflix
Classics.
stuff
Yeah.
and old classics aren't there, and why Pixels is on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Happy Gilmore is not on there. Back to you, Hayden.
Is it going to be something like That's My Boy?
That's My Boy is not on there.
Okay.
I'll also spoil alert. Jack and Jill and Little Nicky or whatever are both not on here too. So
Oh,
just
okay.
save-
Little Nicky's
save
not
your
bad.
guesses.
Okay, so did
Oh,
we cut
what's
this
the
one down?
one? Yeah, what's the one he did with Jennifer Aniston? For first date, or for the one where he's goes with her on a vacation? He's done a few with Jen Ann. Certainly with her, they wanted whatever that one is got to be on there. Shao fucking yeah. What's it called though? He's trying to
Coming at number 10 with 215 million. It's Just Go With It.
just go with it. That's what it is.
Yes. So, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Number 9, I actually haven't even heard of this one, so I don't know if you guys will get it. Maybe you guys will.
51st Dates? Is that on there?
No.
Ah.
There is one on here that you guys haven't, or you guess you can say 2 that's on here that you might, when I say it, you might understand why it's on it. The hint is it's got a lot of big stars on it.
Hayden, do you know? A lot of big stars. Oh,
In an
oh
Adam
my
Sandler
god,
movie?
fucking grown-ups. God damn it.
Ah, yeah.
God damn
One or
it.
two.
Both probably.
They're
Fuck.
both on there?
Grown Ups 1 with at number 4, 272 million. Grown Ups 2 with 247 million is number 5. And so you guys got
So,
9.
I watched
Oh, you watched 1 and 2?
sorry, on Grown Ups, I watched it like 1 or 2. I watched it was one of them. And it must have been the first one. And then my buddy was recommending me a movie and he's like, "Oh, you know what movie is hilarious? I just watched. You have to see it." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Grown Ups." I said, "I'll never fucking take your movie advice ever again after that recommendation." It was fucking terrible. Like, I just watched it. No, you're not allowed to recommend movies to me anymore. Go home.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
watched it either. I heard it's horrible.
It's so bad.
I think it's like single digits on reviews. So the last one you guys haven't gotten, which the one I don't recognize at all. I'll read a bit of the thing, see if you guys know it. Blank marked Sandler's first role in a film aimed specifically at a family audience. It was directed by Adam Shankman and starred Kerry Russell, Guy Pearce, Courtney Cox, and Russell Brand.
What?
2008.
It's his first film?
First
Aimed at a family
film
audience.
aimed specifically at a family audience.
I don't know.
Oh.
Is he in like the Royal Tannenbaums or some shit like that?
Russell Brand
No.
hasn't done that many films as well.
No. Oh, that's a tricky one.
This one, I swear, I've never heard of it. So I wonder, you guys know. Anyway,
What does it rhyme with?
it's 2 words. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
yeah, let's do it. Yeah, yeah. 21 questions.
Okay, fine.
Oh, do you want to do questions or charades? Let's do charades.
Charades.
That'll be great for the people
For the
listening.
listeners.
Yeah.
He's
This is
pointing,
why,
he's
if
holding
you're
2
listening, you
fingers
should
up.
also watch us on YouTube or whatever. Okay, so
Okay, charades. Yeah, let's
2
do it.
words.
2 words. 2 words.
First word.
First word. Squinch. Sleep.
Sleep.
Tired. Time.
Sleep time.
Bedtime.
Oh, bedtime stories.
Bedtime. Bedtime stories. I got it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie.
It's
don't-
like
I don't-
it's sort of like Click. There's magic involved in like they read the book and things that happen in the book happen in real life.
Ah.
I've never seen it, but I hear it made it in the top 10 of his most grossing films.
It did
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
well, apparently, with 221 mil.
Well,
Anyways,
just
thanks
want-
for playing my game. That was fun. You guys did
I wa-
actually a lot better than I did.
I was just
Yeah,
saying, you're not giving us the credit.
no,
You guys-
that was brilliant, Shao, and thank you so much for bringing that nice little addition at the end. Hayden, take us the fuck out of here.
I was like, you're on a roll again to take us out. Well, anyway, thanks for being our chummy thumpkins.
The
Please- The mountain.
mountain, the
Sand,
mountain's there.
Sand Mountain. Please like and subscribe to the show on all your major podcast platforms. You can also find us on YouTube, as Shah just mentioned, on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, like I just said, at Chummy Thumbs. And until
I think you
next
can also
time,
find us on YouTube, though. I think we're also on YouTube.
Did we tell him about YouTube?
YouTube Shorts.
I don't know. I don't think yet.
Oh yeah.
and
Hayden,
YouTube regular.
Yeah.
At I
Hayden,
think
sign us
it's-
out.
I think it's Chummy Thumbs. And these guys love to rag on me because I am their boss.
it's true.
It's all the
God damn
time.
it. Wait, can you
Keep
read us off your
on-
quote? Can you read us off
Oh
your
yeah,
quote?
okay.
Take us out with your
We'll
quote.
take us out with a quote. I don't even know who this is. It's no edicts, but it is Earth laughs in flowers.
You
by
heard it
R-
here, folks.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
That could have been a charade too. Well, thank you, Hayden, for that really underwhelming teabag.
Until next week,
Hey, they're more impressive in real life, I swear.
he's got a great teabag. Keep on.
Thanks, guys.
What the fuck is going on with Diddy?